He agreed to the two. I said, no, I'm not telling them that. I said, you gotta take them out of the screens. What are you trying to say?
Call the April 2nd board meeting to order. The records show that all aldermen are present. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Wade.
Second.
Second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Please stand. Mr. Lapania will lead us in the invocation and Mr. Wade in the pledge.
May we bow our heads, please. Lord God in heaven above, we thank you for this great city of Ocean Springs. We thank you for allowing us to meet tonight to discuss the business of the city of Ocean Springs. May our meeting tonight be positive and professional, and may it benefit all our citizens. We take this time to offer our prayers for the people amongst us who are sick, people who are homebound, people with illness, terminal illness. May you put your healing hands upon each and every one of them. God be with us all. God bless us all. For all these things we say in your holy name. Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get going on certificates, I want to introduce a new director, Ms. Carter Thompson, in the room with us. She's the director of community development. Welcome. We have some certificates made out tonight, anniversaries. The first one is Raul Nadine, 5 years of dedication, commitment, and loyalty to the City of Ocean Springs Police Department. Next one, 5 years of dedication, commitment, and loyalty to the City of Ocean Springs City Clerk Department, our county, Ms. Kelly Riff. One is 10 years of dedication, commitment, and loyalty to the City of Ocean Springs Fire Department, Fire Marshal Lionel Coughlin. Next one is 10 years of dedication, commitment, and loyalty to the City of Ocean Springs Public Works, Kevin McKinney. Kevin, he's on here. One for 15 years of dedication, commitment, and loyalty to the City of Ocean Springs Building Department, Deputy Building Official Terry Franklin. Next item on the agenda, we have a public hearing. Adopt amendments to the Unified Development Code, UDC, for the City of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, amending the following sections and chapters. Chapter 3, Section 3.63G, Chapter 3, Table 3.2B, Chapter 4, Table 4.2, Chapter 4, Section 4.7.2, Chapter 2, Section 22, Chapter 5, Section 5.9, and Chapter 7. Planning Commission recommends approval. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second. Mr. Aldermen, second by Ms. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye.
Wait.
you. Just bringing to you this evening 7 amendments to, basically to do housekeeping amendments to the Unified Development Code. The purpose of these that are on the agenda tonight is to correct some errors we discovered, also correct some inconsistencies, and adapt to some changing conditions in the situation that the Planning Commission sees with the UDC. The first one is deals with historically platted non-conforming lots, basically small lots, primarily in the downtown and midtown area. We've done several of those over the past few years, and currently they are required to go through the Planning Commission and to all approval based on some suggestions from Planning Commission members, because they are non-controversial. They'll be dealt with administratively through just basically a simple building permit application. The numbers 2, 3, 4, and 6 are correcting some inconsistencies and errors in the UDC. Actually, just where say a text is inconsistent or doesn't jive with one of the tables is the things that those do. Then numbers 5 and 7 deal with how we address stormwater management and stormwater control in subdivisions and other developments. And the purpose of this is to adapt to some of the reviews that the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality has done on our stormwater regulations and stormwater practices. So this will bring us in line with what their recommendations are. As you mentioned earlier, this is coming to you with a recommendation for approval of the amendments from the Planning Commission. It was a unanimous recommendation on their part to approve these amendments. And I'll answer any questions about them in detail if you'd like, or I think also Daryl may be here to address some of the ones regarding stormwater. Thank you.
Does anyone from the audience have anything for or say anything for or against the amendments? Okay. So there's a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Papania,
Second.
second by Mr. Blackman. For the roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is agenda public comment. Public is invited to address the board up to 3 minutes each for a maximum period of 30 minutes, only regarding issues listed on this agenda. Please identify yourself and the agenda item before speaking. Does anyone want to address the board on an agenda item?
Yes, I'll go.
Okay.
What's the agenda items?
What's that?
Did you get an agenda?
Jury, huh?
Did you get an agenda from the podium?
No, I
front?
didn't. First time here.
Oh, okay.
What item you want to address, Dave?
Sir, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know what the agenda items
There
are.
are none.
Sir, here, there you go.
I have my glasses. All right, agenda items. Let's see. I just want to talk about the marina.
Sir, what's your name?
Dave Jurich, second time.
The marina's not on the agenda, David. You're gonna
That's
have
not on the agenda.
No.
That's on the agenda.
you got it right
I
there in
can't
front of you.
see. Can you tell me?
If you want, yeah, I can read it to you.
Okay.
If you'd like to speak about
I'm gonna
the,
read it to you,
if you'd like to
Dave.
speak about the marina, you can wait till general public
You can
comment.
wait till the next public comment.
public comment day.
Wait for the general comment.
All right, I'll wait till the general comment.
Anyone else?
So is it the new business stuff, is the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
I do it from here, I need to go up there?
Yeah, new business, you can come up here.
My name is Justin Sward, and it's note C under the new business. It's a request for a 2.5-foot variance on a setback requirement for Whitney Oak subdivision. So I submitted that to the zoning board, and they came back with a response that our neighborhood has covenants, and the response, I'm requesting the 2.5 foot variance. It's currently required is 10 foot for a two-story building, so I'm attempting to build a 2-story detached garage for a larger saltwater boat to back in. The requirement's 10 foot, but you can submit for a variance of up to 2.5 foot, so that was the request, was to gain 2.5 foot on that. The reason I'm needing that is so that when I can back my boat directly in the driveway, that 2.5 foot allows me to move the building to where I back directly into the garage versus having to essentially vary from my driveway over a little bit. And the response was it was about the homeowners association. And after doing, I'd never even heard of that, and I've lived there for a whole bunch of years, I guess. But after I did some digging with the land records, the group that essentially is the HOA is a Whitney Oaks LLC that was essentially formed, like most of these, by the contractor, the developer of the property. After I did some digging, that has been dissolved, and probably of the neighbors I talked to, 70 to 80% had never heard of the HOA or knew anything about it. So, I mean, really trying to figure out, if that's the reason, if the homeowners association, those covenants was the reason it was denied, but that LLC that essentially is the covenant is dissolved and no longer exists. If I can go back to get that approved for my facility.
Okay. We may ask you another question when the matter comes
Okay.
up.
Hi, my name is Debbie Gilly. I'm a neighbor of Justin Swart. The covenants are still in existence. They were filed. They are still valid covenants. There's an architectural committee that has listed members. We actually contacted them, and they said they have not heard from Mr. Swart regarding his request. It's interesting that he said 70 to 80% have not heard of our covenants, because most of us were given the covenants when we moved into the neighborhood. I certainly was when I moved in and know about the covenants for the neighborhood. And the things that he's requesting for his garage do not meet the covenants. The covenants specifically say that anything should match the style of the house. Our neighborhood is brick homes with some stucco facades. What he's wanting to build is not either brick or stucco. His wife says it's a metal building. I'm not sure what he's building. My home is a 1-story, his home's a 1-story. He has a 2,800 square foot home. He's wanting to build a 1,300 square foot outbuilding. And there's a lot of the covenants that this does not match up with. From the fact that he wants to have a big barn door on the front of it, and we're supposed to have garage doors with garage door openings. There's no barn doors in our neighborhood. This would be completely out of character with anything in our neighborhood. And we're a small neighborhood. We're only 19 homes. So this huge building that would be within 7.5 feet of my home would stick out like a sore thumb. And he's wanting a height variance to be 2 stories. And he's really wanting it for business purposes. He has a business called Tethered Skiff. He's wanting it for storage for that. He's wanting it for a home office. And he also has a business for fishing, merchandise, fishing poles, etc. And that's a lot of what he uses his boat for testing his equipment. I have nothing against Justin and his family. They are a fabulous family. This is not personal, but I believe that we have places all over town for storing our boats. People all over Ocean Springs, Biloxi Gulfport, the Mississippi Gulf Coast store their boats in other locations beside their backyard. And I just feel like we have covenants in place for a purpose. And when I showed the plans to our neighbors, they were really not in favor of this, and it doesn't meet what we have. And I just ask that you go with what the zoning board said and not approve this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the board concerning an agenda item? Okay. Moving on to old business, 2024 Friday at the Fort concert series, Raven.
Good evening. I'm excited to present to you the City of Ocean Springs 2024 Friday at the Concert Series. Kicking off at the end of April, which is this month, Friday at the Fort is a free community event for the Ocean Springs community to listen to music, eat food, and celebrate with family and friends. The perfect venue, Fort Morpall Park, is on Front Beach Drive, with the view of the prettiest beach and the most perfect sunset. The Fort creates the most iconic backdrop for the music. Some event highlights: the final Friday of the month beginning in April and ending in September at Fort Morpall Park. From 6 to 9 p.m. on Fridays, our vibrant community flocks not only to the Fort, but also to Front Beach to enjoy the amenities of our perfect beach while listening to the bands. Next slide, Jared. In 2023, Friday at the Fort hosted 2,000 of its closest friends where they camped out on blankets, lawn chairs, or just the grass to listen to local and regional bands. Attendees can interact with city officials, including our police officers and firefighters. In 2024, we expect the number of attendees to grow as the series becomes a staple community event. In its third year, the city has hosted Dr. Czar's Amazing Funk Roster, Cerebi, the Royal Horses, Pocket Aces Brass Band, Unfazed, the Trio, the Network, and of course Dwayne Dupsy and the Zydeco Hellraisers. As our new stage cover is completed, it will only amplify this amazing event and showcase the local and regional bands. Next. Our 2024 vendors, we have accepted applications for people to showcase their small businesses down at the Fort, and that includes Fly Llama Brewing, Burger Box, Positive Energy, Coasties Food Truck, Supernova Self Care, To Infinity, Solid Rock Jewelry, Unstable Spirits Mobile Bar Service, and more. I'm excited to showcase our sponsors for this year's event. Our presenting sponsor is MP Design Group. Stage sponsor is Community Bank. Our lawn sponsor is Merchants and Marine Bank. And our supporting sponsor is Sweatman Creative. Sponsorship opportunities are still available, and I will be glad to send someone a proposal. So our lineup this year, starting in April, will be Bobby Dave and the Waves. May 31st will be the Network. June 28th will be Dwayne Dupsy and the Zydeco Hellraisers. July 26th will be Fever Dream. August 31st will be Pocket Chocolate. And September 27th will be Saint Social. We try to showcase different genres who can appeal to the crowd with covers and original music. So we can't wait to see you on the final Fridays at the Fort for some good food, great music, and even better vibes. Does anyone have any questions?
I think this is great. It's gonna be exciting.
It's a great event. Thank you.
Bring your boat spray.
Next item on the agenda is to appoint one member to the Ocean Springs Redevelopment Authority effective April 3rd, 2024. Everybody's got a chance to look at the applicants. Is there a motion to appoint one?
Mayor, I'll make a motion, we appoint Kendrick Williams to the RDA.
Second. I'll second it.
Y'all talk louder. Y'all speaking to the.
I'm sorry, who is it?
Kendrick Williams.
Kendrick Williams by Mr. Blackman. Is there a second?
I second it.
By Mr. Pena.
Yes.
Anyone have any comments? All in favor?
Mr. Mayor, this lady asked you to speak up.
What does that say?
Does anybody have any comments?
No comments.
Okay. Is all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to new business. There's a motion to adopt a resolution declaring the intention of the mayor and board of aldermen of the city of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, to issue a negotiable note, Series 2024, in the principal amount of not to exceed $600,000 to raise money to provide funds for purchasing firefighting equipment and apparatus, purchasing machinery and equipment, including fire trucks, which have an expected useful life of 10 years and weighing 12,000 pounds or more, paying cost of issuance of the note, and for other related purposes within the city, and directing publication of notice of note sale. Does anybody have any questions before we? Jamie's here. What's that, Patty? Troy's here. If anybody has any questions? Is there a motion?
Straightforward. I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Impey.
Second.
Second by Ms. Burgess. Need a roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is to adopt a resolution for the mayor and board of aldermen of the city of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, approving the employment of professionals in connection with the issuance of a negotiable note in the principal amount of not to exceed $600,000 to raise money to provide funds for purchasing fire equipment and apparatus, purchasing machinery and equipment, including fire trucks, which have an expected useful life of over 10 years and weighing 12,000 pounds or more, paying the cost of issuance of the note, and for other related purposes within the city. Anyone have any questions on that? Any motion?
I'll make the motion to adopt the
By
resolution.
Mr. Impey. Second by Mr. Arthemont. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is to approve a request of a variance to the minimum side yard setback, building setback requirement for accessory buildings to allow a garage to extend 2.5 feet into the side yard. 2118 Whitney Oaks Drive, PID 615-96215.000. Zoning Adjustment Board recommends denial.
You heard from the property owner and neighbors earlier. Just give you a little bit of the background, the context for this is that said that the owner is requesting a 25% variance. This is the maximum permitted that the zoning board can recommend from the side yard setback for a two-story accessory building. The standard requirement would be for a 10-foot setback for anything over one story. In this case, Mr. Sworn is asking for it to be 7.5 feet. It's a 2.5-foot variance from the standard. He said the zoning board heard from the neighbors regarding the issues regarding the appearance of the building itself and the covenants, and the zoning board voted to recommend denial of the request. This was a unanimous vote with one member absent. Their concern was they didn't want to, one, they did not see that there was a hardship in the situation, and they did not want to be in a position of approving something that conflicted with the subdivision covenants. I can answer any more questions about this, however you'd like to hear it. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Wade?
Wade, this is strictly just for the variance of the 2.5 feet.
That is,
Without the variance, is he able to go ahead with the construction of the garage?
he could build it, he would have to move it 2.5 feet. It would have to be at least 10 feet from the property line or lower in height, one or the other.
And that is doable and allowed without
It is
the
allowed,
variance?
whether it would meet his needs, I couldn't say, but it would be, the size of the building, yes, is within the, what's permitted by the UDC.
And the concerns that were brought up here about the exterior
That's a cover.
siding
The
and.
covenants, the covenants way.
I don't know if we get involved in that part.
That's not addressed in the Unified Development Code. They're allowed to do it.
And Mayor, if I may add, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Wade, the Historic Commission found that there wasn't any hardship for a variance. I understand there's a question about the covenants, and the neighbors are free to enforce them between themselves. But
Yeah, they looked at these, zoning board members discussed it. It's in their opinion, it was a fairly conventional rectangular lot. They were not, didn't see anything unusual at the lot that was presented to them to see that it was a hardship.
So just so that we're clear, there's two moving parts here. There's one having to do with functionality and the other with aesthetics. We are not addressing the aesthetic part of it. We are simply addressing the functional part of it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, how does this fall in? There's two parties here. One says the HOA is not in effect, the covenants of the HOA are not in effect, and one party says they are.
yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at earlier. I haven't reviewed the covenants. I mean, he said, she said on the HOA's in effect or not. Like I said, they're free to go argue that between themselves, but really what the commission looked at was there a hardship under the ordinance for a variance?
All we're looking at is the City of Ocean Springs ordinance
For a variance.
for a variance of 2.5 feet.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then the two parties can work out the HOA.
Yes, sir. I mean, if the city were to grant it and the neighbors felt it was against the covenants, then they could go to court for that between themselves and enforce the covenant.
Well, my opinion, that's what we have our commissions and boards for. They thoroughly vet these issues, and I'm going to make a motion to support the denial as presented by the Zoning and Adjustment Board.
Second.
Well, got a motion by Mr. Impey, we got 2 seconds. Mr. Blackman, second, and then I don't need a roll call on this, I need all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, it's denied. Next item on the agenda is to adopt a resolution to request additional funds, MDOT Transportation Improvement Program, which is called a TIP. Federal Surface Transportation Program is STP. It's O'Reilly Road Improvements. Carolyn, you want to say
Yeah,
anything?
this
about
request, we already have an active, we have a couple of funding sources. We do have an appropriation and also a current TIP award, which is through MDOT Federal Highway and GRPC. So this would just add to it to support a more complete implementation. It is currently under design, so this is just to request an additional amount officially.
Anybody have any questions?
Absolutely not. As a representative for that area who drives it on a daily basis, Riley is in desperate need of attention.
Yes.
It is.
You want me to make a motion to adopt a resolution?
I'll make a motion to adopt it.
Mike.
Motion by Mr. Impey,
Second.
second by Ms. Burgess. Roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is to adopt a resolution application for FY 25-28 Transportation Improvement Plan Funding Intersection Improvements. Carolyn?
This is the same grant program through MDOT Federal Highway, GRPC. We've just completed a intersection study for Highway 90 at the intersections of both Washington and MLK, Vermont. We're going to be bringing a presentation on that to you shortly. But in the meantime, there were some minor, I'll call them minor improvements to both intersections that would serve towards improving safety and conflict between different modes of transportation. So we'd like to go ahead and put in the application to get those funded so that we can look at implementing those, exploring a little further, fully designing them and implementing for safety.
Has this been gone over with the property owners on the intersections? Have they been involved in any of the discussions on the improvements?
Not to my knowledge. All of the improvements are within the right-of-way, so it shouldn't, it's a lot of it's either crosswalks or just increasing the turning radius and some other minor improvements.
I know when the stakes went out, I got several calls from
Yeah.
owners
Yeah.
worrying what
Right.
gonna be done and where.
But and this is a concept that we're working from this study, so as we fully explore, we could certainly, that would be the time that we would reach out and discuss it with any affected property owners. If this funding gets approved, and we'd start that process. Absolutely.
Also, if any of this is taken into account when Highway 90 is widened, we'll just take it out.
Right, and it should be, the one at MLK Vermont may have some modifications, but that's where they're starting, so it wouldn't affect the one at Washington, and we don't think that the widening is gonna affect it, but certainly we'd remove it if that were the
I
case.
do believe they're putting a crosswalk there with the expansion of the highway, so if we're asking
Yeah.
to do that, then we're.
Yeah, and it may be that we hand them the concept and let them incorporate it, but we'd certainly explore that as we move through it.
And I meant to ask this earlier too. I don't know that we would need funding for that, but has MDOT expressed amenability to changing the light format at MLK?
That's a totally different issue, and it's probably a discussion. I know that the timing of the lights down all of the highway has been an issue with coordination. But
This one is removing the green light and just having an arrow.
Well, and part of this intersection concept that Michael Baker did the study would change the number of lanes and the way that the turning happens, and it should improve that. So that's where a lot of that cost would be, and because that is a problem especially with that intersection. So yes, it would involve that.
Okay.
And again, if MDOT wants to implement it, we'd be happy to let them do that as well. But this will get the ball rolling and to go through the application process.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution.
Motion by Mr. Cox.
Second.
Second by Ms. Burgess. Roll call.
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is consent agenda. Does anyone have anything to pull from the consent agenda?
Yes, I do, Mayor. 8, let's see, 8T.
Anything else?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item T.
Motion by Mr. Impey,
Second.
second by Mr. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye. Did it again.
Next item on the agenda.
Well, I got item T.
It was Blackman.
Item C, it's authorization to advertise construction, public works facilities, construction restore, Gulf Coast Restoration Fund.
Yes, sir. And we kind of hashed this around a couple weeks ago in discussion. I had requested when I sat down with the project manager to have the roof looked at on the office building to give us storage in the attic area. I really wanted us to explore this. I didn't really want an opinion. I wanted to see the numbers for myself, what the difference would be between that flat roof, the lean-to roof, and an attic space for storage. I really feel like it could be utilized, and I hate for us to push this through real quick and advertise something that we're gonna wish we'd have done the other. Is there a way that we can approve this to go out for bids, but also get a quote on the attic storage to go along with it? I feel like we're missing the boat if we don't look at doing that.
The engineers are here that designed it, if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan really of flat roofs for sure, and I really wanted to utilize the space for storage, and I really want it to be looked at.
So the biggest issue, Bobby, is that in the commercial world, there's not an attic. So if we put anything up there, it becomes an S2 occupancy type and a second story. So by making it a second story, there's a couple things that come into play there other than just the roof.
Fire protection.
So there's some things that could trigger fire protection. It depends on exactly what we do. So that's a maybe. But the things for certain, for instance, like we have to stay under 8,000 square feet. If we go over 8,000 square feet of space up there, then we have to have 2 stairwells. So this is going to be a full stairwell. That's sitting a pull-down attic storage. This is a completely enclosed and conditioned stairwell. If we go over 8,000 square feet, we have to have 2 of those. And then any point in that space has to be no more than 75 feet to the bottom of the stairs. If it's over that, then you've got to have another second story. And that's another trigger for a second.
So do you feel like there's more than 8,000 square feet up there and that would possibly be built? I don't think so.
That's not going to be the case. The 75 feet potentially could, but the big thing is right now those roof trusses are just designed as a roof truss to hold the roof up, and they're designed with a 20 pound per square foot live load. If you go to anything with a second story, it's an automatic 125 pound per square foot truss design.
Floor truss.
Well, then, yeah, it becomes a roof truss / floor truss.
I mean, your roof trusses could remain the same, they're just gonna be
Well, but,
pitched.
yeah, then you gotta add floor truss. I mean,
I just think the investment would probably be worth it. You know, I had this $600,000 or $700,000 number thrown at me, but I want to see it on paper. I just don't believe that number would be correct. So I mean, if it's, you know, I don't know what the difference would be. I was hoping to see that before we would move forward with going out for bids.
So the other thing it's going to change the eave height on the building. So the entire building's now going to get taller. It's just going to add a lot of metal. Now, if you want to do it, that's the will of the board, that's what we'll do. But I don't think we can. I know that there's some other things that we've got to wait on to advertise. I don't know exactly what the timing of that's going to be. But if all those things were in place, I would, and wanted to put this out as a bid alternate, I would not want to advertise it in the next 3 weeks for sure. Because that would be essentially 2 building designs. It wouldn't be a simple, note saying, hey, provide storage space. I mean, it's doable, but it's too.
I mean, to me, it'd be worth 3 weeks for the next 30 years to have something we could utilize.
I say 3 weeks, and I would have to really get back to what that schedule impact would be, because it would be a substantial second alternate design.
And I don't know, I've seen a building that y'all have designed that I really like. It doesn't mean we have to go that far to that extent where you've got a loading bay and all that. We don't need that.
Right.
All we're gonna have is probably filing cabinets or just filing for plans and stuff like that.
So you probably already know this, but when we were having those discussions about whether or not to create a second story there, we did add, we already had an outbuilding for storage. We had multiple outbuildings for storage, but we had one in particular that we added on to and created a conditioned space in that building. So you do have a conditioned storage building, which was intended for files and
Correct.
storage and things like that on the site.
Yeah, I looked at all that, but it still doesn't equal up to what we've got now as far as the capacity of storage and everything else that we've got. So I hate for us to move forward and build a building that, we can do better and have, because we're stuck with it. Once it's built, that's gonna be it.
Sure.
And so that's just my opinion. I don't know what the rest of the board feels like, but I just wanted to bring it up and discuss it.
Yeah, and don't take me as trying to talk you out of that idea. I mean, there was a budget concern there that we talked about, and it is going to be a significant budget impact. So, outside of the budget impact, the schedule impact of design and getting out the bid, if those things aren't concerns, then we're certainly, willing to go down that road. But those are just the 2 things I would say are going to be.
Well, that's just my opinion. I'd like to hear what the rest of the board thinks, but just to hold it up for 3 weeks to see it.
I just don't see the need to hold it up for 3 weeks for one. I don't see the need to add this much more money to this project. I think we move forward with what we got. We got plans, we got construction ready plans. I think we move forward.
I'd just like to see it looked at.
Anybody else have any comments?
Well, I mean, Alan, what would y'all potentially use that for? We've got a building that's on the site
Probably
for.
maps and storage, like, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of paperwork you have to hold for a certain amount of years, like hurricane stuff. time cards and stuff like that's gotta be held for 2 to 3 years.
So that building would not accommodate that?
I don't know, I don't think it would. Not with everything that they keep adding. I mean, that building that they're talking about is where they're talking about storing the Christmas stuff.
Well, it was 2 spaces. We had a Christmas and then we added a 15 by 30, or 15 by 20, or something like that, section to the side of that. So we expanded the Christmas storage.
I don't know if it would or not.
How much of this stuff coming forward is digital? Are we getting away from paper? Are we going digital? Or is it,
I think we gotta save a lot of that stuff. Like
I
the
mean, do we
maps
save
and
it to a
all that.
computer or we save it?
We're just saving it down there now in the storage.
I know, but going forward is what I'm saying,
I don't know.
into the future.
I don't know how much it can be digitalized.
That would be ideal.
All of it
Is to
can
be
be.
able to have it saved in electronic format. That way, it's not subjected to storms or the elements. We've got it saved on a computer. I don't know, I mean, would there be any legal?
I'm sure there's
I mean,
some
that's something
documents
we have
that
to look
are,
at.
and most I'm sure not, or can be electronic, but I'd have to look at that.
That's just my take, Mayor. I'd like to see us research that, and I've asked that for several months, but we're at this point now wanting to go out for bid, and I'd like to see it done, so I probably won't support it, not to go out.
Okay.
I won't support it tonight to go out.
Technically already out.
Until it's voted on.
You know, it sounds, I mean, if they need the space, it sounds like it'd be more economical just to expand that file storage building with conditioned space.
For sure.
It'd be a lot more economical than
Would you be okay with that?
going with the attic
Instead
space.
of going upstairs?
I'll be okay, yeah. Okay with that. They're just double.
I want to see it. I mean, I don't want to just, and a promise.
Why don't we just go out and put I mean, you can throw an alternate together to expand that space pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, expanding that little building.
That's nothing.
That's pretty simple.
I mean, a complete redesign of an upstairs, that's ludicrous at this
I
point.
mean, we have the dirt for it.
That's very hard, right?
You got
Because
space on the site.
It's
a pretty substantial redesign.
We can accommodate expanding that, and I wouldn't even, I mean, I would probably just put that in the base bid. I mean, you're not talking about much money, you know, to do a slab
Yeah, I mean-
grade expansion of a.
Expand it, increase the size of the AC unit, and you're done.
Right, it's pretty simple.
I know in City Hall and all, we have less paper now. I mean, I don't know if Allen and them's that much difference, but we're way more digital. That's why we destroyed a lot of things. Maps and all, do y'all keep a lot of maps? Is that what you're saying?
Everything that's built, we got a map on.
And I know building department has a lot of the map plans, but the other kind of records are going more digital.
They can all
You know.
scan it.
Oh, that's what they're saying.
No, we're just talking about expanding it.
Okay.
Maps can be kept in digital format.
Any other questions or comments?
Well, what, so are we talking about double the size or triple or what? I don't know, I don't recall, I looked over the plans and I don't recall what the square footage of that building was. But
I thought Christmas was moving to, on the other side of town in the maintenance shop where they just built that other building.
Fire department.
That's where they took all the stuff from,
Is there not enough room in there to put all the Christmas stuff?
I don't know.
I mean, that's a pretty nice building. Seems to me like all the Christmas can go over there since maintenance is.
Well, I mean, that's totally separate though. That's an unconditioned space. We're talking about the condition for.
No, I get it, but I mean, I don't know why we got air-conditioned Christmas lights.
We don't. That's the whole point. That part is unconditioned.
Correct.
Yeah, that building
That's a whole
has.
separate thing. That's a whole separate issue.
Spaces in it.
Well, if you got a place to move that, just condition that space and then we're done.
Yeah, you can do that.
Brad, you figure it out.
All right, what do y'all want to do here?
I'll tell you the dimensions here, if you give me just 1 second.
The screen's too small.
So right now for what we're calling Christmas is 20 by 30. And then the conditioned space that's attached to it, just divided, is 20 by 15. So you could either condition that entire building, or you could double the 15 by 20 to 20 by 30.
Well, Mayor, I'd like to see us just hold it until Machado Patano can get back to us and give us those dimensions and the cost to see if it's feasible to do.
It's not my decision.
That'd be my
That's y'all's
motion.
decision.
Which cost?
I would like to see the roof structure cost myself, and it sounds to me like
You
Robin.
missed that though, Bobby. You missed the travel egress, ingress thing.
No, I
you
didn't.
know.
No, I didn't. I've
You
looked at
gotta add
several of those.
stairwells, double stairwells, and then if you get to 75, more than 75 feet, I mean, there's a
I've looked at
lot to
several of
take
those
into play there.
buildings, but I would like to see it still, but it sounds to me like they'd like to also see what the storage building in large would be. So I would like to hold this till the next meeting, if you could get something back to us for us to look at.
Brad, you gave me a lump sum on the second story, if you could just itemize it for him, and then just give us a price to extend the storage already on the ground.
Okay.
And, I mean, if we can go and get permission to advertise pending that, I mean, that's
I think you need to hold off on that. How you gonna advertise when it ain't set in stone?
No, this is just asking to advertise, just because we asked tonight doesn't mean we're advertising tomorrow. This is just permission to do it. There's a couple other factors that still have to come into play before we can even legally advertise. So it's just asking your permission for this project, but that's up to y'all.
That's my motion, is hold it for 2 weeks, for them to get back.
Got a motion to table it.
Second.
Second, motion by Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Wade. Any discussion? Roll call on this.
Nay. To table it.
Nay to table.
Right.
I mean, I don't see a problem with advertising it for approving advertising to go off of both of them once they get us the information, so I'm nay.
Aye.
Can we do that, Rick? Expand a little bit on what you said.
Well, it's like what she just said. I mean, we're just approving to go out for advertising once they come back with those two numbers, either for the upstairs or for the expanded building.
Aye for what?
Voting is Jennifer and Rick.
Or nay then?
Nay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ricky
Nay,
voted
nay.
nay.
The motion is to table, yeah.
If the motion's tabled, if the motion to table it and second it, then it's tabled.
No vote?
No vote.
Don't necessarily have to have a vote. A motion and a second is,
Well, that-
the table is tabled.
Just have a vote.
Since when?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but.
Yeah. But I didn't make a motion to table. I made a motion.
Nay.
Let's finish Dave.
All right, you got it.
Okay, so,
Mayor, that's not, we have to take an affirmative vote to take action on it. I mean, that's a motion to table.
I'll make a motion to authorize them to
I
advertise.
didn't make a motion to table. I made a motion to hold it for 2 weeks.
Motion is. Motion, yeah, pending
motion
the,
by Mr. Impey to go forward with the advertising.
Do we need to put on there based on
that's what I said, pending the
numbers,
provision of the numbers.
Variations in the request.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Blackman. Roll call.
Aye.
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 Okay.
Forever to get to that one. We're gonna get the numbers, that's what I was asking. 2 weeks.
Does anyone have anything to pull from the docket of claims? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the docket of claims, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Impey,
Second.
second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Does anyone have any questions on the monthly budget report?
I'll make a motion, we accept the monthly budget report.
Second by Mr. Blackman, second by Mr. Papania. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is general public comment. The public is invited to address the board for up to 3 minutes each for a maximum of 30 minutes. Only 2 speakers will be allowed per side of each issue. Please identify yourself before speaking.
Got the paper I want to give everybody. Should I give it to the officer here?
Now give it to the clerk over there.
Good evening. Mark Erica, live down the street. I was here last meeting. Ricky had asked about what was going on with my house. I let him know. I called him out. I hollered out to the surveyor, and that, yeah, I am gonna get the house out of my yard.
Gary, if I can, I'll let you talk, but I just want to let you know, there's been a complaint filed and an injunction filed about this. I don't know if you have an attorney on it. You'll be speaking to the board on it. I'm going to tell them not to comment. But there is a hearing set for next week on this. So I just want to make you aware of that before you talk on the matter, but you're free to talk on it if you want.
Yeah.
Go ahead and reset the clock to 3 minutes for him. Okay, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I'm ready. All right. So I stood up right here in front of all y'all and everybody out here. I told them, yep, I've ordered the survey as y'all asked. Initially, there wasn't a survey asked for. The home mover, who's done it many times in this town, who I was advised that he knows exactly what he's doing, let him do it. He drove up the plans like he has many a time before, but still there was a problem. So I ordered the survey, and then I had to let y'all know that yes, I will get that house out of my neighbor's yard. It'll be in my house this week. So in my yard this week. Now I went up to Georgia to see my grandbaby, and then moving the house. And the guy, the homeowner, he's stressed because he says, "Hey man, the people, somebody from the city, they want me to put this thing in the school parking lot across the street." I said, "No man, there's already permission to put it in my yard, and you've already been paid to put it in my yard." Thank God he put it in my yard, because man, if I'd have gotten home and it was up there in the school, I'd probably be trying to repo my house right now. I went on about my business. I got the guy to come out there. Wednesday, I'm working at the church pantry over here, and I get a call from the city that I need to have the things, this paperwork in by Friday. So the guy actually did the thing on Friday, but he didn't get it in on time. So I go talk to Ricky, and Ricky says, "Well, the problem is that you pulled off the stop work order." I said, "I was never trying. I've been going through the process exactly how I said it would." And so I said, "Stop work order was for me." I said, and I saw it, and I said, "I actually took it in, get my wife to frame it, so when this is all done, it's gonna have a prime spot in that house." And Ricky said, "Well, it says on there that you're not supposed to." He says, "They're putting in an injunction because we made a decision on Wednesday, we made a decision on Tuesday, what that mean on Wednesday, that if I didn't have something on Friday, 2 days later, they were gonna put this whole father's carry up on whatever." So on the stop work order, everybody's got a copy. Can y'all see how in that fine writing, that small print, can y'all see where it says, "Don't remove it"? You see how small that is? If y'all all look, it says it's so small that none of y'all can see it because it's not on there. Just like I told Ricky, I said, I got home, I saw it was for me, and I took it off after a couple days because it kept blowing off in the wind. You can see the little thing up there yanked. So it doesn't say it on here that I can't remove it. So this whole injunction, Ricky notified me, was because I took off the stop work order because it said I couldn't, but it doesn't say that. So now this whole injunction, which is silly right here. So I was just wanting to make a motion that then one of y'all would make the motion to second it, and then all of y'all decide who's going to tell the judge or the lawyer or whatever that y'all just go ahead and pull this thing back so I don't have to waste any more of the time. because I'm following through with my stuff exactly how I'm supposed to.
Okay,
And this
Mark,
whole
that's
thing
3
doesn't
minutes.
say, so I feel like I'm being harassed.
That's 3 minutes, thank you.
Here's the summons for this week.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Can I call you as a witness that you read that
I
and you said
will
it doesn't
consider
say it
it.
on there?
Okay. Anyone else who would like to address the board? Okay, moving on to Mayor and Alderman's Forum. Alderman Burgess. I didn't see you, I'm sorry.
I was waiting for somebody else to get up. Nobody else did.
Hello, my name is Lori Carter. I live at 1117 Iberville Drive. And I have a question for the board and the mayor. I live about half a mile from downtown, and I can't get to sleep till midnight because of the music. Upstairs, downstairs, in any room of my house, I cannot get to sleep. And my stepdaughter has cerebral palsy, and she's unable to sort of discern this stuff. I'm about to cry, it's so sad. And she can't sleep. And all I've been told is that you make too much money with the bars. I want to know why this city does not have a decibel enforcement. I want to know why this is okay to do to your citizens. I want to know why you're digging so low and selling us out. Because if I live a half a mile away, I'm not the only one. We're going into summer. It's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, at least. And this is not, I didn't grow up here, my husband did. I moved here in 2009 to be with his family, because I have stepkids. And you've changed it. And you're selling out. And you're selling out to really low rung on the economic development totem pole. Go find good business. Go find a call center. Get an economic development person. Bring in money some other kind of way. But I would love to know, can anybody tell me why you will not enforce and you do not have a decibel level? Why? Why? If there's a disturbance of peace, why does it not matter? It's just so wrong, and it's going on too long. And your citizens are so kind, and they're really gentle, but they're really putting up with a lot. And so I just don't understand. I'm going into the summer, 5 nights a week, I'm going to be up till midnight. Can anybody tell me why? Besides, you make too much money from these bars. I don't know what the number is. What's the number? What's it worth to you? We all get to vote. Election day. Thank you. I hope you'll reconsider.
Thank you, Laurie.
I just have a question.
Come up.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not gonna let you off that easy.
My name is Debbie Parker. I live at 3201 Hannibal Farm Road, Ocean Springs. I want to know if Judge Clark had signed off on the annexation yet. I have not heard anything.
No.
And I didn't know he had.
No.
How long after he signs off will the new ward boundaries be put out? Because I know they're going to have to shift. Because you testified in court, I heard you say that if he signed the order today, everything's in place for tomorrow.
Well, public safety is, fire is, trash will start, that sort of stuff.
So how long after, I feel like it's going to happen?
Well, we're working through the ward lines now, but the alderman at large would be in charge of that area until we get you a personal alderman.
So call Bobby.
Call Bobby.
But it will roll out pretty quick after that.
Yeah, everything will be rolling out quick.
And the new ward lines will be online and stuff. Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Hey, David Jurich, lived here all my life. I want to apologize to y'all. This is my first meeting to come here, I think. But I was out of line, I've learned to, when I make a mistake, admit it. And I've learned a lot just by sitting here watching, listening to you. You got a difficult job, and I look forward to some of the discussions about the marina, as I stated in my first time up here. Let it go at that. I'm sorry for interrupting your meeting, the way you run it, and look forward to the next meeting.
Thank you, David.
All right.
Anyone else who would like to address the board?
Julie Long, I just wanted to say one thing about the marina. I know David was going to talk about it, but I sure hope y'all reconsider. Most of Ocean Springs doesn't want this marina. We don't want our front beach, to be messed up and commercialized and everything else. Also, I'd like y'all to reconsider this PUD ordinance you have, because I've still not gotten an answer as to the limits on the variances. So, one thing, PUDs are supposed to be like a newly developed area. You know, like a big piece of land. It's not supposed to be put in the middle of a neighborhood where there's a big lot. So I wish y'all would look at this PUD again and maybe reconsider it, make a few changes. Thanks.
Thank you, Jill. Anyone else who would like to address the board? Okay, moving on to Alderman Forum, Alderman Burgess.
Sarah, Alan, I sent you guys my worksheets in anticipation of your meeting tomorrow, but I do want to get together next week and just kind of reprioritize. Alan, I'm sorry, the signs for Culleoka?
Complaint still hadn't come in. She sent another note to them, but they didn't respond today, so she's just trying to run those blanks down.
This is an external company that we, okay, all right. Let me know if I can help with that in any way, because that's kind of, it's not massive, nobody's going to flatline, but we'd like to get that checked off the list. Thank you.
I just want to say thanks to everybody that was involved with the fort. The fort really looks good. The roof cover, the new playground equipment, chief, everything looks good over there.
Me? Alan, on Simon and Kensington, anything on that washout?
No, he's supposed to be coming back, he's gonna remeasure it. We're probably gonna give us another price, because the first quote he sent me wasn't right, he put all going all the way up to the fence. So I got it remeasured this week.
Thanks. That's it.
I'm good, Mayor.
I'm good, except just let everybody know that we had a pre-construction today, finally, for the Government Street Sidewalk continuation project. That's been going on now for quite some time, and that'll be started sometime when school's out this year, because we have to have some street closures, and we'll be putting that out when it comes up. So that will take place. The boardwalk across Davis Bayou will be installed, and that'll be finally complete all the way to the middle school. So that's all I got.
I'm sure everybody back to Jerry Dalgo and Greg Daniel will be happy to hear that. And Alan, after asking you for month after month, year after year about paving, I'm happy to say they finally completed paving. Well, in Ward 6 they did. That was my main focus. However, that being said, when are they going to strike?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll call it tomorrow and get to it.
I hope that's not another month after month, year after year question. And I was handed something here just before the meeting from Chief McCoy. I make a motion to authorize the promotion of Captain Jacob Lee to the rank of Battalion Chief effective April 14th, 2024, starting salary $19.83 hourly with a 6-month probation period.
Second. Motion by Ms. Tempe, second by Mr. Blackman. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I've got, Mayor.
Mayor, I have one thing. I'm not sure if we need to discuss it in the executive session. Maybe I should make a motion to go into closed session to see.
Okay. Got a motion to go into closed session. Discuss the need to go into executive session by Mr. Cox.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Board is in closed session.
I remember that. You just had to do it, man.
I could have done it out here, y'all would really not like it.
Congratulations.
I have to pee.
Okay. Thank you, sir. No, I don't.
Then I'm going to travel through there. I don't lock the door. Oh, you're welcome. Interesting.
Christmas night.
Okay, and you're still dealing with that. So I just want to be clear though, all we did was address the functionality of it. The aesthetics of it is going to be between you guys, your HOA, your covenants, and him. So we don't have a say in that. But yeah, as far as, all he's got to do is
Yeah, definitely not right now.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna make a motion to get our committee.
In my defense, in your defense.
She supports Kimberly.
Okay,
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Just making sure the live stream is still going.
They got a sign up? I'll find.
I'll give you directions here.
Are you gonna come out of executive?
Make a motion to come out of closed session.
motion by Mr. Impey,
Second.
second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mayor, I would like to make a motion to form a 3-member committee from the Board of Aldermen, myself, because I represent the area, Ricky Altamont, he represents the area, and I would like to request a third to go over and meet with the county supervisors and discuss moving forward what they would agree to moving forward with the bulkheading and finger piers or whatever it may be on the marina project. I know they have pulled all support of the marina from the county, and I would like to see us go sit down with them and all of us get on the same page moving forward. So with that, Patty, I would like to make sure that we just freeze spending the money on the marina portion of the project on Front Beach. That's my motion.
Mr. Cox.
And
So I have a question. So, I'm sorry, just for clarification. So the marina portion, not the land base, because
Not
my
the land
understanding
base.
is the county has not pulled support of that.
they're in total support of the land-based
Correct.
portion.
Well,
Okay.
the piece of paper, the document that they pulled support of stated clearly that it was a land-based portion of the project. It did not say anything about the marina portion, so.
Correct. Okay. I just want to clarify.
Well, that's something we need to sit down and discuss, 3 members of this board, myself, Ricky Altamont, and if one of you gentlemen want to step up, we'll make the third appointee for the committee. We can go meet with the supervisors and sit down and discuss. But I was at that meeting, they were in full support of the land-based portion. It's the marina portion that they are not in support of, and that's what I would like to sit down and discuss.
Okay, we got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Altamont.
Oh,
All in
that-
favor?
Wait.
One of you want to volunteer to go meet with the supervisors to discuss? We need one more alderman.
I'll do it, Bobby.
Myself, Rob Blackman, and Ricky Altamont will be the committee.
I've got no issue with the three-person thing, but the design is well underway. I don't know why we're shutting that down. I think the project's going to move forward regardless, or at least I hope it does. I think it's a good project.
I'm just requesting that we do not spend any more money with the engineers on any more of the water portion of the project at this time, till we have the chance to go meet with the supervisor.
Well, and again, for clarification on my part, my understanding is that this is actually working in 2 phases. We're focusing on the land-based portion first, so there are no real monies being put towards the marina portion of it.
Just
We're
the
really
bulkhead.
focusing on the land-based portion right now, so to halt money going to the engineers for the marina seems, it's not happening. At least, that's my understanding. So,
They are working.
what are we halting if they're not?
They are working on marina portion along with the other portion. It's not split. So that's the portion I want to stop.
I think will make you comfortable, my point stopping right now is we're in the middle of permitting. So can we stop money past permitting? Is that fair? Because if we stop it now and permitting comes through, then we can't pay, or if permitting has questions, you're saying we can't pay the engineer to pursue those. And this includes all of the work.
If we can go meet with the county and discuss this, they might join forces with us requesting those permits for what we need. If we're not gonna do the marina, we probably do not need those permits, so we need to make sure that's what we want. I don't agree with going forward with getting stuff if we're not gonna do it.
I'm
Just
saying, we're in the
just
middle
like
of
in
it.
Jackson, I was there this past week, and they're willing to push money, but they wanna make sure what we're doing.
I
Yeah, we-
understand, I'm
so-
just saying, because we're in the middle of permitting.
Why don't we break this thing in two parts, and three folks can go meet with the supervisors this week and discuss it with them, see where they stand, and at that time, we can figure out where the city of Ocean Springs stands on the contract, and see if we can break it into two pieces.
So we cannot hold,
Without a motion, I don't think we need a motion with stopping the money. If we can meet in the next day or two, that doesn't matter then.
Let me ask a question, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean,
It's easier to, in my understanding, if I may, is to, if we're already moving the process forward, it's much easier to pull back or pull out than it is to try to get back in. So if we're in the middle of the permitting process, right, and we pull out, or we stop, or we halt, and things move past us and we can't catch up. If we stay with the process, go with the flow, we can always pull out if we don't get the cooperation from the county, or if that's what we decide to do.
the only additional money for permitting is if the permitting agency asked the engineers for additional information.
Jennifer, to address what you just said, I've been a member of the board where we've denied the money that was given to us, and it really makes them mad. If they fund a project and you don't accept it, it makes it worse. I would rather us meet with the county, discuss this, know exactly what we're asking for and what we're needing. Because if the money comes forward from Jackson and they're going gung-ho for this marina, and then we don't do it, we will have a lot of mad folks in
Well,
Jackson.
that process happens at a rather slow pace, does it not? You guys meet with the county.
Right now, it's moving very fast.
But I mean,
this
you
week
guys are
it's
gonna
moving
move,
very
you're gonna
fast.
meet with them this week, correct?
You're saying it really is not needing a whole lot of money for the permit process to continue through. So it really
We may
shouldn't.
not need any.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure we're not asking the engineers to do more work.
On design.
Right, on design.
They can't
I don't want them to move
design
forward, build
until permits are
design.
approved.
So that probably is fine. So let's form the committee, go speak with the supervisors, get on the same page, see where we're all at, and then move forward. But personally, I don't feel like the marina project is feasible without the county on board.
From a political position.
Well, the people's opinion is very important also, but we need to be on the same page one way or another. So that's my motion to
Okay,
form.
we got a motion and a second. Is there any more?
Clarify the motion, please.
Yes.
To form a three-member committee to go sit down with the Board of Supervisors to discuss,
You named it.
Bob, myself, Ricky Altamont, and Rob Blackman, to discuss the marina project and what the county is willing to do and not willing to do moving forward. The other is I just do not want us to ask the engineers to do any more work. Is that better?
There's two motions?
No more design work.
They can't design until it's permitted.
Yeah, they can't design.
Okay.
Can't design.
So that's covered. That's the motion.
Okay, so
Got a
the
motion
motion is
second.
just to establish the committee.
Right.
I think that's reasonable.
Motion to establish committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Well, who seconded that?
Mickey.
Ricky second.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you. Go meet with
Need a
them.
motion to recess.
So moved.
Second. Motion by, who's first?
Ricky seconded it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Recess.
That was fun.
Already approved it?
No, that's, we need to all be on the same page.